$3,100 for an ounce of gold. The price of gold is skyrocketing. It's just going up and up and up. You know, I know that for many people in Bitcoin, the volatility of gold may not seem like it's something that dramatic, but you got to keep in mind, gold has had its best quarter since the 1980s. Gold has been on an absolute tear. Last year was really good, and this year seems to be also going really, really well for the gold bugs. And I think that's great. Good for them. There's two notable things I think are worth paying attention to in this gold price spike. The first one has to do with comparing gold to the US dollar, and the second one has to do with, of course, comparing gold to that of Bitcoin. First, about the dollar. I saw a post earlier today that really struck my attention. It was really compelling. I don't know if it's true or not, but it seems to be true, that $100 worth of gold now weighs less than a $100 bill. That is how valuable gold is, or should I better say, that is how much value the US dollar is losing. That up until today, where gold made another all-time high, the dollar was worth more than gold in weight. If you had $1 million worth of cold, hard $100 bills cash, that was heavier than the $1 million of gold. Well, not anymore. As of today, not anymore. The dollar is now so diluted, so debased, and so spread out that it's not even worth its weight in gold. That's just crazy to me. It's slightly terrifying. How much lower can we go? Now that we've crossed this Rubicon, you know, well, why not devalue it some more? Why not have a $200 bill or a $500 bill, right? You know, at some point in the future, inevitably, a $100 bill won't be worth a $100 bill anymore, right? Back in the 1800s, we used to have a half cent. We got rid of the half penny. When the half penny was worth more than what is today a quarter. If we were being consistent with America a couple hundred years ago, we would not only get rid of the penny, we would get rid of the nickel, get rid of the dime, and arguably maybe even the quarter. Not even a dollar can buy you any individual product anymore. So that's something that happened today. Gold price is now so high that dollars aren't even worth the same amount in terms of absolute weight of holding it. There's the other thing, though, and of course has to do with Bitcoin, and it's the thing, of course, everybody wants to know, is why is gold running and Bitcoin isn't? Why is Bitcoin underperforming? We have the strategic reserve. We have the president talking about Bitcoin. We have the institutions. We have the ETFs. We have all kinds of things coming our way. Why is Bitcoin not running like gold? I think there's many reasons, but ultimately I'm not too worried because I do believe in the long-term future, Bitcoin is worth more than gold, right? All the Bitcoin in the world is worth more than all the gold in the world, at least in my opinion, in the long-term future. And here's the crazy thing. Depending on how you do the math and how much gold you actually think is in the world, right? Because we can't audit gold, there's roughly about $21 trillion worth of gold in the world now. Okay, that's a pretty nice number. 21 trillion divided by 21 million is about $1 million a coin. If Bitcoin were to reach gold parity, it'd be $1 million a coin. That is how dramatically the world is changing. Okay, you remember a couple years ago when you saw all kinds of Bitcoiners on podcasts and videos talking about how, oh, you're so early to Bitcoin. When Bitcoin reaches gold parity, it's going to be $600,000 a coin. Okay, you understand that there are videos of people back in 2013 talking about how, oh, when Bitcoin reaches gold parity, it's going to be $300,000 a coin. Like, it's not happened. And of course, some people would say, oh, well, you know, it's just because Bitcoin's not catching on. But actually, it's catching up. But the thing I want to emphasize here is that I think we all need to be prepared, really prepared. Bitcoin may not flip gold for years. In fact, what if Bitcoin doesn't flip gold for a decade? I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. Is it unreasonable to assume that the value of gold could triple over the next 10 years or so? I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't think it's unreasonable we could see gold at $9,000 an ounce. You know, maybe not, but maybe we will. We'll make more gold, but we'll print more dollars. And so which one of those two is going to win out in the end? Probably going to print more dollars if we're going to mine more gold. And so, yeah, maybe we see a $9,000 gold ounce. That's crazy. But here's the thing with Bitcoin. If gold were $9,000 an ounce, 3 times today's price, that would not be $21 trillion market cap. That'd be a $63 trillion market cap. You know, again, assuming the same amount of gold in the future as the present moment. That would mean a $3 million Bitcoin. In nominal terms, would be gold parity. Right? In 2013, Bitcoin reaching gold parity was $300,000. By 2033, or at some point in the 2030s, we could be looking at a $3 million parity for Bitcoin, right? And so a lot of people in Bitcoin right now are complaining, why is it that the original hard money of gold is running and Bitcoin isn't? You know, this is so dumb, this cycle's so boring. I'm not actually that upset. The higher gold goes, the faster gold moves, the more volatile gold moves. It proves that volatility is not going anywhere for Bitcoin. It proves how early we are to Bitcoin. The more gold runs, the earlier you are to Bitcoin, because meeting parity with gold is like the benchmark minimum, right? It's like comparing the telegraph to the World Wide Web. It's like the bare minimum of what the World Wide Web should be worth is that of the telegraph, right? And I think the same thing is true with Bitcoin and gold. I think the bare minimum is that Bitcoin meets gold. And so the higher gold runs in terms of dollars, the more Bitcoin has to catch up with it. The higher gold goes in terms of dollars, the cheaper Bitcoin becomes in real terms. Sure, the nominal price may stay flat, and that may be boring to people, but in real terms, it's getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Energy is trying to find its home, and eventually it will find Bitcoin. Right now, it's trending to gold. But I guess that'd be something for you to think about as you watch gold over the coming weeks or months, years, maybe decades. Just think about it that way. The higher gold goes, the more it's reflecting the decline of the dollar, and the earlier you are to Bitcoin. You know, people say, oh, a $2 million Bitcoin, a $5 million Bitcoin, a $10 million Bitcoin, that's crazy, that's absurd. In real terms, I don't think it is. And in nominal terms, I know it's not absurd. Why? Because a mere decade from now, a $3 million Bitcoin is barely going to be gold parity. In fact, it may be even less, right? It may still be less than gold parity, right? $3 million is not expensive. It's cheap. It just depends on what year we're talking about, right? So that's all I have for today. Just something to think about. Your dollars are now, even in $100 bills, are not worth as much as the same weight in gold, and that's just going to continue. And the more that happens, the more Bitcoin's cheap. I'm super optimistic that we're seeing multiple percentage moves in a multi-decade trillion-dollar asset that is gold. Because if that can happen with gold, an ancient, outdated hard money system of the old world, of the pre-digital world, well, then how much more volatile is Bitcoin going to continue to be a decade from now, right? The proof of gold's volatility is proof that Bitcoin's returns, the Bitcoin's volatility is not ending, and it's probably just going to continue in the future. So that's all I have for today. I'll see you in the next video.